We're back on Matt's B series here. Just got the head back from the machine shop. Got done. Let's go over some stuff here. We got stock size valves on both stock seats still. They're both, this is GSC intake valves and GSC exhaust valves, but these are Inconel exhaust valves. Hold on. Let me flip this over. We have GSC guides put in, bronze guides. Here, maybe I can see, like, there you go, you can kind of see. We got bronze guides. And on the exhaust here, we have 6mm stems, and these are 5.5. We have GSC dual springs and retainers. And then we have Ferrea keepers, or locks, whatever you want to call them. So that's the head setup. Stock ports still. Okay. Nothing, just components added, no porting or anything. We got a Cometic 36 thousandths head gasket that we're going to be using here. Yeah, 36. And just in case we need more clearance, I got a 40 thou here. Gonna put it on with custom H 625 plus head bolts. Let's see. There you can see it. ARP custom H 625 plus head bolts. And gonna put in these Kelford cams, which we got a degree. I'll go over the spec. We got these cam gears. This is going to be the exhaust one with the single magnet. And then we're going to have this crank pulley, which we went over with the sensor or whatever, 24 teeth -2. And the Kelford cams are these spec. They're the Turbo 2, which are, where's the advertised duration? 294 on the intake and 298 degrees on the exhaust. So there's some pretty big cams. And yeah, we're going to put this together, put it on, and start doing some piston the valve and stuff like that. So I'll get going on this. Back at it, just got Matt's head on, like a temporary one, just to degree the cams and check piston the valve clearance and everything. Just got done degreeing it. We got the Kelford cams, the Turbo 2 or whatever, T2 ones. And your center line right there is 110 intake, 118 exhaust. And in order to achieve that, we have advanced 3 degrees on the exhaust and advanced 3 degrees on the intake to get it to spec. And I'll post up the digital thing of at 40 thousandths. This is what it comes to. And just for comparing the other cams, here's at 50 thou what I got. I did both ways. So there's that, and we got that to specs, and I'll take it apart and get claying the engine. Just so I don't forget, if we ever make changes, there it is. The 12 foot-pounds for the adjuster bolts is the torque spec. Okay, head's back off. Put in some molding clay that I picked up from some craft store nearby. And these are the, by switching the pins, these are the ones that are locked for VTEC, for the bigger load. This one's still on the small lobe, and so is that one. So I just put clay in these, and I'm going to put it back on and spin it. And then I coated it. You can see it's kind of shiny. I coat it with some oil. So when the valve pushes down, it doesn't stick to the valve, and it releases because of the oil. So let me get this back on and spin the engine. Alright, we got it reassembled, and timing all marked up. Let's give it its spin. It's in the B series, so it goes counterclockwise. Maybe we'll give it 2 spins. All right. Bring it back to TDC, and now I'll tear it apart. So at first glance, it looks like we have plenty of room. I'll make a cut and cut it and pull half the clay out and check out radial clearance and everything, see if I can get a couple measurements. Alright, so got it cut in half, and you can see we have just a ton of room, radial and clearance there on the that's the exhaust, and here on the intake. I don't even know if I want to take a measurement. It seems like it's a waste of time. Maybe I will though, but look at all that room. That's insane. I know it's a crude measurement, but I just kind of took this and I'm trying to do this one-handed, brought it in like this, brought it in until it kind of hit the clay there, and on the exhaust I got 0.265. Let me do the intake here. Went like this and brought it down so it just touched right there-ish. I got 172. And then I'm not even going to measure the radial clearance because it doesn't matter. So let's call this good. I bought the Jack Spania B-Series lockers just so I could, by flipping the pins around I could only get, one valve of the two locked. And the check valve, the valve, I want to be able to do both. So I just bought those because they're the cheapest ones just to throw in on cylinder one. And I can lock, both lobes, the check valve, the valve. Otherwise, I can only lock like opposing ones like you saw on McLean. And I need to get the distance between these two. So, yeah, I got that in. I'm going to test it out. All right, cams are in. I got it set up to check valve, the valve clearance. You can see the cam gears are the same. I got this around and old timing belt vice grip to make sure timing's right. I got the belt tight here. And so it's right the right spacing. And this is 100 thou versus worth of feeler gauge. And it's like just kind of snug. Like it pulls out, but I can feel if I go tighter, it's actually going to be pushing the valves, like the free play in the valve. But that's it. So right now with the Kelford spec, we got 100 thou valve to valve clearance. I'm going to move the cam gears and see how tight I can make the cam center line, or the LSA or whatever, lobe separation, how tight I can make it to get this down to about 50, which is the minimum probably we'd ever run. That way if we ever change this on the dyno, we know how tight we can get the cam gears before we have a valve to valve issue. Alright, so now I have like 70 thou right here. It's pretty tight. I can feel it's dragging pretty good. So that's about 70 thou, right? And before we were at advanced 3 on both, like this one's still advanced 3. I went this one from advanced 3 to retarded 5. So I changed the center line. Well, that's 8 degrees, so 16 degrees for the center line. And now we're at like 70. Just for reference. I'll see what the actual numbers end up being for center line, but yeah. Let me do a little bit more. Alright, so now I have like 70 thou right here. It's pretty tight. I can feel it's dragging pretty good. So that's about 70 thou, right? And before we were at advanced 3 on both, like this one's still advanced 3. I went this one from advanced 3 to retarded 5. So I changed the center line. Well, that's 8 degrees, so 16 degrees for the center line. And now we're at like 70. Just for reference. I'll see what the actual numbers end up being for center line, but yeah. Let me do a little bit more. So right now I'm at about 60 thou. This is exactly 60. It's a 24, 23, and a 13 feeler gauge. I can feel it drag. So that's 60 thou valve to valve. and I only moved it back from 5 to 7, which is 2 there, which is extra 4. So it's 16, so that's 20 degrees. Yeah, and so I bet you if I go to 9, it's going to be even worse. But I think this is about as far as you should take it. That looks pretty fucking close. I wouldn't want any closer when it's revving and moving. So that's it. We're going to say, I'll figure it out what it is, but that kind of lobe center line. But we got plenty with it where the Kelford spec is. Brought the motor to the shop to put the head on. Got out of my basement, otherwise I wouldn't be able to lift it. So just went and put all the head studs in, torqued them to 8 foot-pounds with the Allen. Got the head gasket on for reference. Make sure we're putting it on the right way. Everything looks like it's lined up, right? And I'll put the head on. I'll start torquing it down now. Everything's all cleaned. Got the head over there. The deck's clean. Brake cleaned it and stuff. Used some Kimtech wipes. So you can see we're all dirty here. So yeah, Kimtech wipes. Yep, so I'll start putting it on now. Got Matt's engine here all done. Went with the purple theme on the valve cover and the oil pan. Reused his HKS twin disc clutch. Trans back in. So this thing's ready to go in the car here. He just needs to get his injectors clean and we'll put it back in. So I'll continue from here on.